Okay, v'siyata d'shmaya. Simen lamed zayin v'inyan makiri kuno. Kilot Yaakov and Siman lamed zayin v'inyan makiri kuno. Yes. So yes, no, I'm going to glance through to Kufchof. We started Kuf Yutet. We went all the way to Kufchof on top. Yes, we'll just glance through. The Gemara says that Zroa L'chaim V'Keivo, it's a momoin that the father was muhzak in it, and therefore the Bechor gets double share in it. And the Gemara says, what's the case if the father got it in his lifetime, Pshita? And if he didn't get it, the Gemara says, no, Makiri Kuno, and it was slaughtered in the father's time, but he didn't get it. It was potential, but since Makiri Kuno, we consider it as if the father was muhzak in it. The Torah explains, since it's an Isu.
It was slaughtered in his lifetime?
Yes, that's the Gemara's answer. Makiri Kuno. And Ishtacha B'chayavun. And Matana Shlomo Kimishu Mudamyon. And Tosa says, what did Makiri Kuno does? It says it makes him a muhzak. Why? Ve'ainu taima. Tosa says the reason is because Makiri Kuno is a Matana Muetas. It's a small gift. Why is it a small gift? Because it's only your potential to decide what you want to do with it. And the law is by a small gift, ve'osu lachzor boy afilu dvorim ma'alma. Small gift you're not to retract, even words alone. Even though if he does retract, it works. But as long as he didn't retract, it's like a muhzak, and the firstborn son will get double share in it. So we have here the ktsois and the nesivas. The siyata d'shmaya. So now we're doing the Kehilot Yaakov. So the Ktsois learns from this Tosfot that we see that although the coin was not Zoiche in the Matnaskuna because when Anton Moetes, you're not allowed to retract, but if you retract legally, you cannot demand that money. So really, the coin did not Zoiche yet with that money, but since he has a prohibition, the giver, and a prohibition not to give it to him, he has to give it to him. So therefore it makes the Ba'ali muhzak even though there's no kinyan in it. And yet the Ba'ali mekayim mitzvahs nesina, he can mafrish mokemacher, but it's very hard because he says, if what Tosis is right, how can you inherit something which is not yours? Yerusha means it's yours, you give it out. But if it's just a holding, if it's not, there's no kinyan in it, how can you give it Yerusha? Okay. But the K'chay said no. We learn from this Gemara, you can have a Yerusha and Muchzok, there's no kinyan. It's very hard in Misvah. Because normally, Yerusha means you own it. So then he brings the Nesivas. The Nesivas, I will start again from the Nesivas. It's on page Kuf Yutet. On the first column of the Sima, the left column, 2, 4, 6, 7 lines on the bottom. Okay? V'anesivas mechalik. You will have it? Again, Siman Lamed Zayin in the Kilot Yaakov. And the first column, left column, 7 lines on the bottom. V'anesivas mechalik. The Davka specifically, Matnas Kuhuna. Specifically, when Makiri Kunu works, by a gift of priests. The Ushul Kohen really belongs to the Kohen. The talk for Kohen, the law is if a Kohen attacks Madnas Kuna, Makiri Kuna, if he's a family friend, you don't have to give it back. That's what the moment Tzidafov says. Why? Came in a Boli Masulach Zoy. Eno Boishuta Vasano Lidmalache. Since the Baalim have a prohibition to retract, so then he made the Kohen, the Jew is not allowed to reach. He doesn't have in it Tevas Hano. The Sivas use the language Loi Nosolo Rachmono. The Torah didn't give it to him only when Torah doesn't give it to him only when he has an option. But when there's an isu, the Torah never gave him the option to choose. What?
Only in Tokfo it lose the option.
No.
Only
Tokfo koin makiri kuna not chayav la'achzir.
Tokfo.
Since the Boli was also la'achzor by him. So they don't have any more Tevas Hano.
Right, that's it. But it's only in Tokfo.
If he wasn't Toikef,
Of course he has to be.
what do you want to say? The Nesivis has a paradox in his words. We explained yesterday there's a paradox in what he's saying. And I'll explain what's the paradox. The Nesivis says that since Matnas Kuna belongs to the Kohen, just a person, the Jew has a Tevas Hano to decide who to give it to. But when there's an Isu not to give it to somebody else, so then the Torah never gave you that option to choose. Mimela belongs to this Kohen. And since the law is you're allowed to attack it, the Kohen can attack it, says as if it's his here. When he says, when he attacks it, he can Mekadesh Boish will be Legamre his. Now that he didn't attack it, is his, but not Legamre. So what do you mean it's not Legamre? You cannot Mekadesh his, it means it's not yours. So what do you mean it is his? So there's a paradox what he's saying. That's what he asked yesterday in the Sivas. In the Sivas use the word Legamre. When I attack it, is Legamre Shaloi to Mekadesh Boisha. Brings in a test case to marry off a woman. But when I didn't attack it, so then it's mine. It's the Kohen who. If it's a Kohen who, so then they marry a woman with it. No, you can't. Why? And not only that, he says I cannot marry a woman, but it belongs to the Kohen, and he give inheritance to it. So there's two problems in the Sivas. To understand what he's saying in essence, because if he says it really Matnas Kuna belongs to the Kohen. It's the giver, the Jewish giver, has an option to choose, and here the Torah took away that option. Because Bakir Kuna is an Isu. So once it doesn't have the option anymore, so then the Jew by Makir Kuna can attack. I mean the Kohen can attack it. And when he attacks it, it's his, totally Mekadesh Boisho. Legamre is his. So now it's also his. But not Legamre Kadisho, but it is enough his to give inheritance. So it's not clear to understand what he's saying. What is his, but not Legamre Shaloi. But it's the Kohen, and you give inheritance to it. So look what the Ksilas Yaakov asks. V'gamzei no move on. This is also not understood. Yes.
There's two answers.
Right.
So the first answer is Makeri Kuna said,
Right.
Inami legabi Tovasano. Doesn't it really?
Inami what?
Legabi Tovasano.
That what?
That it cannot, like they can receive this.
What Tosha says?
I mean, Rosh Hashanah says.
Yes.
Rosh Hashanah says, Inami en yochol tov rak Tovasano. Sheyesh lo boy. Namad Tovasano.
He's saying another answer. He's saying if I grab the Sovik Bechor from the Jew doesn't have a claim in it, only a small amount of money. That, let's say the cow is worth $1,000, and the Tevas Hano is $50. See, the Jew can only demand back 50, but the 950 I can do with Tfisa. And on that the Gemara speaks about. And the 950, that's what Tosha's answer. But the first answer is, no, he has nothing there. Even the $50, there's nothing there. The Jew can grab, the coin can grab.
It's kind of weird because it says, "Ve'ita for Kohen."
Now,
And then
comes,
"Umimela yachol hakohen litfos."
what?
The Netzivo, the way the Stipler reads it, he says, "Ve'ita for Kohen," and then he says,
No, read before that. You jumped one line before.
והניסיבו מחלק דווקא מתנת נולד הוא של כהן.
Stop. What does the word Yehushal Kohen mean in Hebrew, in English?
Not completely.
And that's what you're adding. He didn't say that
No,
yet.
you're right, but that's...
1 second. He says Yehushal Kohen.
Right.
Good. Continue.
ואיתה כפו כהן במכיר כהונה אינו חייב להחזיר, כיוון שהבעלים אסור לחזור, אין בו שום תורת הנאה, לתנור אחר. וממילא יכול הכהן לתפוס בו. מה אם ממילא?
וממילא?
יכול הכהן לתפוס.
Since Makiri Kuna, nobody's allowed to take it, only you. He loses the Tevas Ano. So he's mainly allowed to attack. Continue on.
וגם זה אין מובן, אפילו דבר נתיבוס ויכול לתפוס.
No, continue in the Nesivos.
Oh, I know.
I thought you read the Nesivos, okay. Vegam Zeina move on. There's also not understood that the Kilot Yaakov says. Da afilu ledivra Nesivos. Even according to the words of the Nesivos. The Yocho Elitvois, that he could grab. Veliskois and merit the object. The Matnaskuna. Mabekach. What does this gives us? Sheyocho Liknois Balkosha Balim. What does it care that you have an option to merit it, to acquire it against by force against the owners? Mikol Mokum in any case. Call as long, turn the page. Turn the page, Kufchov. Kol Kama Deloy Tofas. As long you didn't grab it, Messiah Nishma. Kama Deloy Tofas. As long you didn't grab, Lavdida, it was not his. As long you didn't grab, it's not his. What's the raya that is not his? Okay, when Shabira Toysha explained, the Chozra Bolim Chazoros Chazor, if the owners do retract, they're not allowed to retract. But if they do retract, the Chazor is Chazor legally, monetary wise. So it means it's a contradiction. How can you say he's an owner because he's a Kohen, and the Bolim lost the rights to choose? If they lost the right to choose, the Torah never gave you because of the issue, so I can say I can do Chazor.
First thing, the Toysha doesn't say that. The Toysha says...
Toysha does say if it Chazor. He does say.
No, this case is in Mobutzi.
I'm talking about in Baba Basra. We're learning Toysha Baba Basra.
It doesn't say that. It only says...
Talking about Baba Basra.
Baba Basra says it.
Baba Basra says that if the Bolim retracker works, because it's like Batona Muetes, that's Ainu Taima. So Masha Echirush means what does the Nesivos gain? The Ktsoy said there's no ownership, and if no ownership, you still somebody Muchza without ownership, you can have a Yerusha. We could understand. The Nesivos seems to be gaining by saying no, it is the Kohen, because they're allowed even to attack it. And there's no Tevas Hano. The Torah never gave it an option to choose. So when he grabs it, it's Shaloi Legam et Mekadesh Isha. Therefore now it's Muchzak. What does Muchzak means? Muchzak in his. See, if it's Muchzak is his, why is he allowed to retract? Elamai is a Tanai. The Torah gave it to you. Since you're allowed to attack, and there's no Tevas Hano, the Torah allows you to attack. The Torah says it's yours on condition as long as he doesn't retract. But how can he retract? The Torah may give you the option to retract anymore. That's the whole point of the Nesivos. The language of the Nesivos is the Rachmon or the Hashem. The language of the Nesivos is as follows. I'm reading the language of the Nesivos inside. The Nesivos says, I'm reading the language again. Turn the page. The language says, רק שיש לבעל הבית תורס לנו בציוור רחמונו, the בעל הבית has תורס לנו with the commandment of God, it came and also לחזור בו, seizing not to retract, נזבט לתורס לנו, שלא שלא רחמונו, the gift that Hashem gave him, the free choice to choose, is being cancelled. The b'mokom isul and no שלא רחמונו, in the place of isul, Hashem didn't give it to you. So what's the point of retracting? How can we retract if Torah never gave it to you? Right. Right. So the Choiro, his problem is that since you could retract, so it's not Shaykh, this is the Kilas Yankov's question. We're asking what's stronger. How could you retract if it's his? Elamai is not his legamre, so it's not his, how can you have a Yerusha? So it's a paradox. If it's his, and the Torah never gave you that gift of option to retract of Tevasano. The old Tevasano is Tziv Rachmona. But when there's a Yisur Rachmona, never gave it to you, means you don't have it. So if you don't have it, it means it's yours. So why is it not Sholei Legamre? And if it is something is yours, so how can you retract? Because they didn't give it to you. So it doesn't make sense. It's a paradox here in the Sivas. It needs explanation. So we want to know what does it mean not legamri? We want to know whatever that means. We don't want to do it ever. We want to know, show me, retzoneinu liros malkeinu. We want to see exactly. Don't talk to me now. Now we final halacha. We want to know what's pshat. Don't tell me whatever it is. Whatever it is, I can tell you. I don't have to learn for the last 2 weeks. Whatever it is, makirikun, it is. What kind of answer is that? What do you mean, whatever it is? Tell me, you want to know what is it?
Be from Missouri.
If you're Missouri, it's a roundabout. So what is it? Yes, what is it? Okay, so the Nesiva says, if I grabbed it, it's mine legamre lekadeshisha. But before that, I'm a muchzak, and he says the word koyenu, it belongs to the koyen. Not koyen. It belongs not to marry a woman. Yeah? The Nesiva says when you attack physically, it's shaloi legamre lekadeshisha. You can medayik from it that before you grab, you have potential allowed to grab, but it's not yours legamre, but it's yours to do and have inheritance. So what does la legamre means? It's yours, not legamre, but you can give inheritance. It says the koinu. So if it's his, it means whatever it is, some reason it's not legamre, but it is yours. The opposite word, not legamre, means not fully. Okay? So now when it's not fully, we're saying what we're asking here. We understood all that, but listen what we're asking. We're saying in the Siva says not legamre. Who brought this deal? I was medayik. I brought it to the table. But listen till then the problem. We know those factors. But we actually want to know what it means. If it means that it's not his legamre, those are the words. And then the Siva does say that the koyenu is not legamre, but it's the koyenu. Then he says another statement. That the Jew doesn't have an option, the Torah didn't give him that Sibur Rachmana to choose who to give it. The Torah never gave it to him. When there's an Isur, but Bitler Rachmana, the Torah was mevatel his option to choose. So the Torah was mevatel the Torah Sano anymore. It doesn't have it.
So what is that?
So how can he retract? Yet Toysa says he can retract. If the Torah cancel it, how can he retract the Maisa? How can he retract? It's not in his hands. The Torah mevatel is Torah Sano. If he has a prohibition, so you say, okay, I have it, I have a prohibition, I still did it, the Maisa, al Pidin, monetary is cancelled. But if I don't have the Torah, give you b'tatzibur rachmon as boteil, so how can I retract? And if I could retract, means that it's not legamre, it's not his. The Kaddish Isha. So how can you inherit it? So what's going on?
Because when he says it's not his legami, he can't retract the copy the kahun in general, not this kahun in particular. That's why it's enough, since he can't take it away from the kahuna, but there are in the...
No, that's not what he says. I read the words again. Let's read the word again. Let's read the words again. We only have what the words is. The words, I'm going to read the words again. He says like this. And the Siva says, "V'atam demadnas kuno shel kohen." What's the reason? Why by makiri kun you're allowed to attack? The reason is because v'atam demadnas kuno shel kohen. You know why by makiri kun is allowed to attack? Because before you attack, the madnas kun is his. It belongs to the kohen. Later on, he says not legamri, but he says shel koyenu. That's a reason. Any kohen. Just rak. 1 second. Relax. Rak. However, sheyesh lebalabait tevasano b'tzivra achmono. The balabait has a tevasano with a command of the merciful one. V'keim and the osu lachzor boy. Since by makir kun there's a prohibition to retract. Nisbatel. Knows the word bitul? What does that mean? Nisbatel atoy v'asano shenosol rachmono. The atoy v'asano the Torah gave the beolim is being cancelled. The bemokoim isu loinosno loy rachmono. In the place of isu, the Torah did not give you the atoy v'asano. So it comes back that the man is kuna shel koyenu.
No, it's still out of his hands.
What?
It's his, but not his.
So if I own, listen, I'll ask you a question. If I own something, but it's not in my reshus, can I make kaddish issue with it?
A pikodon or not? Not a pikodon yet.
What do you mean it's not a pikodon?
If it's a pikodon.
So he is not a pikodon?
No.
Why not? If the Ba'alim don't have a choice to not to give it, they have to give it to me. Because the Hashem has mevatel the choice. And they want to do mitzvahs, so they're holding it for me. The koyenu. He doesn't say kahuna, shevet, tribe. The koyenu belongs to the koyen. V'kevan she'eino yochol lachzor, since he cannot retract. V'amekabel yochol l'tokfo bal koychoy. The Jewish owner cannot retract, and the receiver could attack by force of the giver. And when he will attack, will be his to marry on with it. Will hold on and everything. Right now he's a muhzak.
But still, a muhzak of what? Legabe what? It's not muhzak, it's a
Muhzak. Now, simply means muhzak means muhzak that is, but he has a kinyan in it.
That says a kinyan.
That's all. So he has a kinyan, and he says right away, Mashenkan shvuo o shamaton. No, 1 second. Lo yeshelo yachiak no be kinyan means you have to do a kinyan. But here I don't need a kinyan. He says it's his. Shel koyenu.
It's his.
Double ivuchoy. It's his.
Make up your mind. Is if you make a kinyan.
Yes.
But so why he says is?
He's saying shel koyenu.
So that's it.
Madnas kuna belongs to the koyen. This koyen. Amakir kuna because the balabai lost. But the Torah lo inosno rachmon. The Torah never gave him an option to choose.
So why do you call it muhzak?
It's a muhzak. It's his and a muhzak. But yet the Nesiv used the language that as long as you don't attack physically, is not yours totally lekadosh bisho lechol dovo for all things.
Until you take it.
Means it's yours, but not for all things. When you attack, it's yours to lekadosh bisho lechol dovo and everything. Before it's yours, but not for everything.
When you say attack, you mean you take it in your hands.
Correct.
You grab it. The word here is
Correct.
grab.
But it seems to be that before you grab, it is shaloi, just not lekadosh lechol dovo. And you're muhzak on it. And that muhzak, he can give inheritance.
It's also muhzak.
Good.
Before he grabs, what's up?
Before he grabs, it's not shaloi lekadosh b'isho lechol dovo. But it is shaloi, not lechol dovo lekadosh b'isho.
For what?
It doesn't say for what. I'm just saying this is what it says. I'm putting on the table all the information he gave us. And I'm explaining what's missing here.
It's his, but what's the reason why he can't kaddish a woman? Maybe because
Don't know. Don't know.
I tell you why.
Maybe because it's not in his hands, mamash.
Mamash, you made him missing a no.
So therefore, what?
And the kiddush, the kaddish shisha.
You need a no, so you need to have to receive a no. If the money's by the, what happens if I marry a woman? 1 second. If somebody marries a woman bepikodoin, mekudeshes, by alvoin mekudeshes, by mekadesh isha bepikodon, ariz mekudeshes. So she be mekudeshes. Okay, now he gives. That's the gift. Good.
But because I did not give, I'm mekudeshes.
No, didn't say that.
Let's see. Let's open the Gemara.
The Gemara said that.
Let's bring the Gemara moment to Kiddushin. Let's bring the Gemara. Let's read.
Same thing.
Let's open the papers.
If he doesn't give, that
One second, let's see. Pikoda means a deposit. If I marry a woman and says, I have a deposit of this guy, I'm giving it to you. I have money in the bank, giving it to you. Since the guy is holding it for me, and attempt to give it to her. So that's it. It's already by her.
She would get enjoyment even though.
What?
She would get enjoyment even if it's on deposit.
Or not. So the question is, that's why you have to physically give it to her? And that's why the Nesiva says, it's not shaloi legamri mekadesh isha, because in mekadesh isha, you need to have ano, like the Rambam Shita is, and when there's no physical ano, even though it's hers, you cannot mekadesh. There's a din miyuchot by kiddushin.
That she needs to have an
Yes.
She's gonna get it because she's gonna get the other.
But no, it doesn't work. She's going to get it. Has to get it on the moment. That's the whole point. That's why it doesn't work. But it doesn't work.
She's mekudeshet. You still have to give it.
Oimer leisha.
Which got involved? Which got?
That means mama's a picador.
Which got is it?
It's smooth system. And the whole
That was
the whole thing. It's not mama's a picador. It's only it has a bit of a picador.
Here it talks about the mekadesh a woman with pikon in her hands. It's different.
I think
If
it
the
says
pikon is in somebody else's hands,
It says "V'hu she'iten."
If you give it to her, it's no longer a picador. If it's in her hands, it's not a picador anymore.
and then I say marry her with it. Mekadesh a woman, yes.
But you would just say you're giving it to her. You wouldn't say you would
Okay, maybe you need a nesina bayad. So the kiddushin. But if that's what it means, that it's really only a din proti, and kiddushin you need to give physically.
That's what it means. That's what it means.
So that's what it means. It's not mekudeshes
Actually, give it.
because it's not in her hands. Okay, but one second. If this sound in the Sivis, so it means that really is totally his.
Yes.
It's not the be'olim is his. Since the Torah took away, since the Torah was mevatel, the option, the Torah is not to choose who to give, because then Isu. And you cannot retract, and that's why you can attack. So when you attack, or be shalom legamre, itemekadashish, because you have the another.
Because you have.
I don't understand so much what he's saying. Because normally, Pikoda means it's mine. I cannot make her shusha because technically she needs to have the ano. But it's not chisoron in the mind. And it's not chisoron in the mind. Pikoda is not chisoron in the mind. It's chisoron that I'm not giving her. Good. It's chisoron of her getting. But he's saying that before, but he's not listening actually. The Nesiva seems to be saying that here, when Yamadas Kuna belongs to the Kohen, but because it's not in his hands physically, is not shaloi legamre. Not listening. When I have a pikodo and it's shali legamre and a kadeshisha, just technically I cannot make I'm not giving to her, but it's not chison and shaloi. Now he's saying that's what it means. But when he says not shaloi, it's not shaloi. It's not shaloi kadeshisha chol dovo. It's a chison and a shaloi. Pikodo and shali legamre. When I have money in the bank, it's mine totally. But it's not as much as a chison and a shaloi. No, if the Nesivas only said that word, you're right. Maybe you'll be right. He says the Kaddish Ishul Choldovo. Says two more words. Choldovo. Not a problem. That's not what it means. It's not Shaloi Legamre Le Kaddish Choldovo. It's not totally his. Right, it's not totally his. And it's a chison and a shalai. Because normally is his. It's a chison and the receiver, not on the giver. He's saying, no, you're allowed to attack it. And then matoskoy and who? When I attack it physically, it's shaloi legamri, lekadishol chol dovo. Now it's not shaloi legamri. What is this new creation Not shelo legamre. It's a paradox in understanding what it means. It needs. What does it mean? What it means? What it means? A new din of the Nesivas din. Good. So we want to know what is this din. One second. Let's continue on. So now we know he says it's not shelo legamre. Those are the words. So he says it is the kohen. Mamnas kohen who. And there's no option to retract. Now, Talmud took away your option to retract.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yes.
It's asking for him, but he can still retract.
Doesn't say that. That's the problem we have. Since in reality, Torah says he could retract, like what Talmud doesn't fit in the Nesivas. And the Nesivas said that the Torah took away. You Tevasanosh. The Torah took away is botel. How come Torah says as Matonu Muetes that you could retract?
Right. Asur, but you could. Asur, but you could.
That's what Tosha says.
Right.
But according to the Sivas, when it's botel, it's not also, it's botel. Because of these bottles, how can you retract?
Then it's his, it's the Cohen.
So that's what we don't understand in the Sivas. And the Sivas needs a clarification. It's missing in words and what he means to say. Okay.
That's the case, it belongs to the Cohen.
What? What do you want to say, Michal?
When he compares it to the Shavua,
Yes.
he says but it's different by Shavua.
That by Shua is no kinyan. Mashma, he have a kinyan.
Here you have a kinyan.
Yes, so double mifucha. That's what he said. So in the later ones, Mashma, there is a kinyan. She's not legamre. What does it not legamre mean? If it's even it's not legamre, but you don't have an option to retract, the term is mevatel. So how can you could retract? And what kind of thing not legamre that you have a yerusha on it? Okay, it's yours but not legamre. So you can have a yerusha. Cannot understand. And how can you retract? And that's why the Kilos Yaakov says, "Came and shabiu atoishes di chozro abolim chazoros and chazoros." Toishes that you could retract. My shaykh yerusha lo shlo zorabo. How can you have yerusha? I mean, you didn't merit it. I mean, the Kilos Yaakov to kuf chof on top of the page. He's saying, he understands in the Sivas is that I have the option to zoichet to attack. So he says, true, you have the option, but as long as you didn't grab, it's not yours legamri. You're very close to it. It's not yours. So if it's not yours, how can you retract? And if you can retract, so and it's not yours, so what shaykh, what do you give? You didn't give it any answer here. The shaila was, how can you inherit it? How can you have inheritance until it's not yours? The answer is you could attack. And it could be yours legamri. But right now, you didn't attack. And it's not your legamri. And you could retract too. So if it's not yours, then could you retract? So how can you have an inheritance? What do you get? What did the Sivas add? What?
How can you can't grab something that's not yours? So it must have been his lechatchila.
Must be that it is lechatchila. Good. So if it's yours lechatchila, and the person lost the option to retract, the Torah never gave him. So Tosha says you could retract. Means that's not totally yours. Otherwise, how can you retract? So if it's not totally yours, it means it's not yours, legamre, because you can retract. Although the Torah take away that option, it's a problem to understand that. So how can you have Yerush on it? So this needs an explanation, needs a biur. What exactly it means? Yes. Yes.
Either it's black and white, either all or nothing, or from 1 to 100.
Yeah.
The month here, so over here it's from 1 to 100. So I'm looking yes or no. Either Kilos Yaakov going to yes or no. He's going to learn no from 1 to 100. That's what the
Good. We know that, Reb Chaim. We're not mechadish nothing. We know it's 1 to 100. But we want to know what this 1 to 100. What is it? I don't say the word of it. We now at the time we want to know what is it. Not whatever. Now tell me, we want to know what is it. We're not now in the beginning of the sugya that tell you whatever it is it. We want to know what it is it. Tell me what is it.
It's enough his to be able to give it as the Yerusha. It's enough his to do that.
Good. So if it's enough his to have a Yerusha, how can he retract? When the Torah took away his option.
Because the guy has an option. The guy has the option.
How? The Torah never gave it an option.
Who says that?
The Nesivas. The Nesivas says, his option was canceled. And that's the whole idea why he's allowed to attack. The whole svar of the Nesiv is why the person allowed to attack, why Tok for Koyim Kirikuna works. Because the Torah cancel the Tevasan of the bowling of the Jewish bowling. Torah means to choose who he wants to give. There's no choice. Now he has a choice to give it to somebody else. He says, okay. Okay, it's clear. Comes the, yes. Seems to be the one that he knows, the Makiri Kuna, the family, friends, that coin can grab. On what basis? No. The basis is that since the Torah really, every Matnas Kuna belongs to the Kohanim. But since, why belongs to all Kohanim? Because the owner can give any coin he wants, and therefore belongs to all the Kohanim. But when the Balabai lost the option to give it to who they want, because Torah never gave it to them, because Makir Kuna means an Isu, because like Motanam where there's an Isu, and they give it to others, means that Torah cancel your option to give it to others. So if you only have an option to give it to one Kohen, it belongs to that Kohen because he's a Kohen. The Matnas Kuna belongs to the Kohen. And there's only one coin around. So there's only one coin around. He gets it. He's allowed to attack it. And when he grabs it, it's Shaloi Legamri Le'Kadish Uchol Domo. And now before, he's a Muhzak. And having inheritance to it. It means it is his. There's enough his. Between 1 to 100 is enough his that he cannot make Kaddish Isha with Chol Domo, but there's enough his to make Yerusha. So how can he retract?
But it's a different reason why he can't.
And yet Tosha says that the Balabai could retract. Although the Torah canceled it. So it needs an explanation here. What does that mean? And if he could retract, so it's not totally his. I mean, it's not even it's not enough is to say the Zerusha by definition.
Isn't it a different reason why you can't Mekadesh a woman? And nothing to do with the fact that it's not his?
Normally, you cannot Mekadesh a woman on Pikon, as Reb Shlomo brought down, because it's not a chesaron in your ownership. It's a chesaron because the woman did not receive pleasure.
So it's a different reason why.
It's a different reason, but he says, if the words of the Nesiva says it's not his legamre, the Kaddish Uchol Dovo. So what does that mean, not legamre? Normally, Kaddish Isha means a chesaron in the shaloi, is a chesaron of the his, he says. Kaddish Isha by Pikona normally means it's not a chesaron of my ownership.
That's it. I remember the Rosh Hashiva Abel Shalom.
Yes.
I took a lot of pictures at weddings, so it was at the chuppah, very, very close.
Yes.
He would always ask, is this yours? Are you sure it's yours?
How did he buy it?
And the credit card, your father didn't buy it. How you take it back and say he would really, every single person.
Now, what does it mean? Right, that's how long you should do, by the way. So now, if
Maybe that's called dubbers, exactly. He's just missing one of the dubbers, but he has all the other dubbers.
good, so we know that. So he says not Shaloi L'Chol Dova, but he has, but with 1 to 100 he has. So we want to know if that what he has enough to give inheritance. Why Tosha says that the Balabai can retract?
Until he retracts, and if he doesn't retract before he gives it, then he's got lost it.
If it belongs to the Kohen, that's why you're allowed to attack it. And is between 1 to 100, there's something with there that is enough his to give inheritance to it. It's his. Not legamre, but it's his. And the Torah took away the option for the Balabai to retract. Mevatel it. Yet Tosha says that he could retract. So first of all, it's time a contradiction in concept. But besides that, if Tosha says that he can retract, means that it's not his. It's not that it's his, not legamre. It's not his. Otherwise, I can retract. So we have a problem, first of all, in the language. It says cancel. And Tosha says that he could. Means mevatel. Tosha says that the Nesiva says his option to choose is mevatel. The Torah didn't give it to him. Torah was mevatel. And Tosha says, no, he does have it. Because he can retract. Number two, he's asking, Lemaisa, now that he can retract, that proves that not only his. It's not even between 1 to 100, it's not relevant to him. Because if I can retract, if it's his for some reason, not legamre, but it's his, how can I retract? And take that, whatever is his, how can I take it away? If it's that, the 60%, between 1 to 100 is his, but his means ownership his for certain things. How can I not take for certain things taken away from him? If it's his. If not his, I cannot. So it's a paradox here. La 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 la. What? One second. But what can I do? The Nesivas didn't say those words. He said shaloi legamre means not shaloi legamre. Shaloi but not legamre. Use the word shaloi. The kohen hu. I'm just using his words. You can tell me schuyot. You can make your boxes. It's all good. But not what he says. Don't tell me what the Nesivas says when he doesn't say that. That's all. I said the words he said. Open the book and look in the words inside. That's what he says. I just read in public. Not shaloi legamre and the kohen hu. Not neskuna, the kohen hu. Those are his words. That's what we have. And by shvur there's no kinyan. So mashma here there is a kinyan. He says the word from double lifuch is mashma. He's saying is a mashmos as a kinyan, and then he says not shaloi legamre means it's shaloi but not legamre. And he says the neskuna, the kohen hu. Those are the three things that the Nesivas gave us information. And then his explanation. Comes the Kilot Yaakov and he says, I want to give you his answer. Yes.
So you see, if you say here, this is
Yes.
So it's only K. Only really, so read this a bit of Kemina. Really, what it
No, Kim is not reality. Kim means because it's not in reality. Simply, that's what it
means. So not reality, maybe it's missing in Shaloi. That part is Shaloi, not Shaloi.
Okay, so it doesn't help us because whatever it is Shaloi means Shaloi. Let's say between 1 to 100, 70 is Shaloi. Okay? That 70 is Shaloi. Can I take it away from him? If I could, it's not Shaloi. Shaloi means not mine. Shaloi. Shaloi means whatever it is Shaloi. If it's not Shaloi, it means how can I retract? Simple. And not only that, he said even my option to retract is canceled. But even if you bypass that. And they said you could retract. And how can I retract? Whatever is Shaloi. The Shaloi la legamre is Shaloi la legamre. How can I break it away from it? So it's not Shaloi. That's all simple. So I can have Yerushalayim. It's a problem to understand and to see this. Yes, what do you want to say, Chaim? Yeah, but he says Kinyan. Fadol also says Kinyan. Reb Chaim, your name is Johnny? No, your name is Johnny, Rabbi Johnny, or Rab Chaim. Chaim is a concept, it really means your name is Johnny. No, come on. Your name is Rabbi Chaim Fasher. When it says Kinyan, it's Kinyan. When it says Shaloi, Hu, Legamre, that's what it means. You can't say how many means. He says 3 times the same kavana. Kohen Hu, Shaloi not Legamre, no, there is a Kinyan. So he says Kinyan, Shaloi not Legamre, and Kohen Hu. Manos kuno shal Kohen Hu. Okay. So he said, no, it means. That shal Kohen Hu means relevant. It is okay, good. That's not what it means. That's what it means, simple. I'm not doicha the pshat. I said I need a clarification. The Nesivas is vague. The Nesivas didn't spell out exactly what he means till the end. Unless, one second, we're not finished. Unless, as we said yesterday, the Nesivas is not talking about according to Tosfos. The Nesivas is talking about halacha. Then we don't have a problem. And if you ask me, I think that's a pshat. The Nesivas is a book la halacha. It's not attached to the Rishonim. Just for the deen, this specific deen. But in the pshat, the makirgun is not in halacha, no pshat. That's all. And really, you cannot retract. Not like Tosfos. He's not attached to Tosfos, you can retract. Like the Rabbeinu Yonan, Yad Ramah, very good. If you ask me, that's pshat in the Nesivas. Don't worry for the Sivas. Yeah, but if you push it on Toisves, it needs a clarification. Does it make sense? That's all. That's why I'm attacking the Kilos Yaakov to show you understood well that this is. Because you understood, you're right. I agree to what he's asking, but I show internal contradiction. It's called a paradox. Inside in the Sivas, that doesn't make sense the way he read it. And therefore, you read it wrong. I mean, just in Pilpul now. When I'm not saying Vada, what I'm saying. But it means, according to my knowledge, I understand right now that it means a Vada. So comes the Kilot Yaakov, he says, it looks to my poor knowledge. Boze behegdem. Comes the Kilot, by the way, this Kilot Yaakov is one of the most famous Kilot Yaakov ever. There's few Chidushim that the Kilot Yaakov said and was being accepted all around the Jewish people. This is one of them. Okay? In his lifetime. It was Rosh Hashiva Novardok, and when he gave out his books, everybody grabbed this Chiddush. This was being around when I was a young boy, 14 years old, when I learned Gittin, when I learned Nedorim, when I learned Baba Basra. Every time when we learned different Masechtas, these words of the Chofetz Chaim. When I was a young boy, I went to Rabbi Zimman with my father. We said Rabbi Zimman, he also mentioned this Kilot Yaakov.
This particular one?
Yes. I don't know when my father's going to in Rabbi Zimman in his house on Erev Pesach, one of the years. Shevet Kuna, and there was some Bachim from, I don't know if some yeshivas came to argue with him about it, back and forth. He explained it.
I heard this Sim Chidush by the Pritz.
Anytime, everybody brings it. But this is the Kilot Yaakov's Chidush. Could be it's before him, but the way he said it, I don't know, I didn't see others. But it's known under his name, that's all. It's known under his name. That's the bottom line. Probably not the same example. What? Sure. Yes, yes. Venir news daiti. It looks to my poor knowledge. This is the words of the Kilot Yaakov.
I think if you understand, according to my humble opinion.
My humble opinion. Okay. Humble. The word poor means poor.
Yeah.
Humble means anav.
Right. So isn't it enough here?
Nire le anava dati.
It's the same lettering. It's the same lettering, but it's not
Right.
the same.
Okay, good. That's the way I read it. That's it. Anyhow, let's go to the Yesoid. We don't have much time. We have 15 minutes. Let's get to the Yesoid of the Ktsois, of the Kilot Yaakov. The Yaakov came with a big Yesoid, big Chiddush. Mamish. We call it an Einfall, a new understanding in Makiri Kol. The Mavur be'avom is Dav Samach Zayin. The Leman de Omar en Zechir lo Ubo. The reason opinion is that Ubo, you know what the word Ubo means? An embryo. Embryo cannot zoiche.
Cannot what?
Zoche.
What do you mean cannot be zoche?
Yes. Let's say the father died. The father's a Kohen. And let's just, Shemesa Kohen, the father died, the Kohen died. Now, Oichli Mavodov, the slave of the father, eat Bishvil Sharabonim, the sake of the other children, not the embryo, which are Kohanim. So the father was a Kohen, his slaves are slaves of a Kohen, the Kid Betruma. The father died, his children are Kohanim, and they inherit the slaves. So now they eat Truma because of the children, the other children, but not because they're embryo. And Lobonim, what happened if there's no children for the Kohen? Oichlim, the slaves eat Truma b'shvil kol ha-mishpocha, for the sake of the entire family. Which means, if you have a Kohen that dies, have no children, so his inheritance go to his family. His family's still a Kohanim. Right? His brothers, who knows what. So there's no children, they still belong to the Kohanim family, so they still eat. Ayin Shom. This is what the Gemara in Yevamah Samach Zayin says. But for the sake of the embryo, they cannot eat. Because Ein Zechil Ubo, the Ubo doesn't merit those slaves. He doesn't own slaves. An embryo doesn't have ownership to own the slaves, that they're the slave of a Kohen and they can eat Betuma.
What's
He has a wife. He died after she conceived the baby.
That's what we're talking.
And that baby is a Cohen. And the father died after his wife became pregnant. So the slaves can only eat because of the other kids or other family members that inherit them. But right now, this Ubo doesn't inherit. It means there's no family. They all perish in a Holocaust. And there's only one embryo in the stomach. Then the slaves don't eat betuma. That's a concept. V'ayinu, which means, yes, Melech, Melech.
By embryo Russian means at any stage, at 9 months?
Yes. V'ayinu, which means probably after 40 days. V'ayinu, which means the kol zman, as long. Why is it after 40 days? Because after 40 days, there's Yetzirah of the flood. Probably before the Yetzirah is not even, there's no Havamim. V'ayinu, which means the kol zman, as long. Shelo yotza ubo la'avir oilo. As long the embryo did not go out to the air of the world. I mean, it didn't come out of the stomach of the woman, the womb of the mother. Arei behold avodim in kinyon shashar hayoshi. The slaves are the acquisition of all the rest of the inheritors. Comes the Kilis Yankov and he says a big chiddush. The afal pikein, even though so, kshen daubo, when the embryo gets being born, nifka zechus sharayoshim, the merit of the other inheritors being cut off. Vechoizer, and it goes back laubo to the embryo. Masha magia lechelkoi, what belongs to his share. That share that the embryo didn't have, and the brothers took over his shares or the family. When the embryo is being born, he takes that share back. Uposhu, the whole his share, whatever was share. Let's say, not everything of his share.
Okay.
Uposhu, there's a simple, the choizer, it goes back, the nice shaloi lemafreya, it becomes his retroactively. That's a big chiddush. This is the whole piece here.
Retroactive
when the baby is being born, retroactively is a continuation of the father, and the slave, he owns from his share the slaves retroactively. The whole Kosova Toises Shom, because Toises wrote there in Yavamis. That's the raya of the Kilot Yaakov. We have to really look carefully. Devadai tzrichim laachzir la'yoresh ma'aseh yodov shelo eved. Ay. This is the point. Toises. There's a Toises in Yavamis. Toises in Yavamis says that when that embryo is being born and now he gets back his share, the entire 9 months that the slaves were working and feeding the family from the work of their hands, or producing values from the work of their hands, the other family members that took that have to give it back as far as his share of the embryo share, from the Ma'aseh Yadayim of the Eved. You hear Reb Shlomo? It's a very big chiddush. You have to see the Toises inside, because that's the whole chiddush here. V'ainyan bazeh, in the concept of this, and the subject of this one. Yes. Oh, he's going to explain right now. That's the whole point. And by Yerusha works. V'ainyan bazeh, the concept of this is the came and that sins the shar amishpochol zochu ba'avodim mikoach shmo ma'proti. This is there's 5 lines right now, 4 lines right now. This is the whole yesoid of the Kilot Yaakov. V'ainyan bozeh, the concept in this is the came and that sins the shar amishpochol, all the rest of the family, the brothers and the family, lo zochu ba'avodim, they didn't merit in the slaves mikoach shma ma'prati, from the name of their own private name. Or rather, machmat shema yoresh shaleim, just because to have a name of inheritors means a name of the continuing people in the world after the death of the person. Because the concept of inheritance means that the children are continuing the father, as if the father is still alive. through the children.
Really?
Yes.
Concept? How they get all this stuff? So how is that connected to continuing the? What the inheritance has to do with continuing the life of the father?
Y vamos.
I don't understand those 4 lines. She said, that's it, you saw it, you better explain it.
Okay, so the Toises takes it as a for granted, doesn't bring Raya.
What?
Toises of Ktsas Teimo Do Mistome Maisi Yedem Ad Shiyulad Ulaubo. We don't have Mishor. Toises use Mistoma. In Toises understand that Misvora. Toises understand that Misvora. Okay. Ma? Okay, so let's go back here. There's a Tois that says there that he give back to the Yoyers the Maisi Yadayim of the Heaven. He says, Vayinon Bazeh. This concept is the subject in this is what? The came and the Shara Mishpocha, since the rest of the family, Lo Zochu Ba'avodim, they didn't merit in the slaves, Mikoach Shema Maproti, from their own private name. Elomach Mashem Yoyresh Alem, just because they have a name of inheritor. They have upon them the name of inheritor, means a continuer of the father. Kol Sha'achakach Nimtzo Yoyresh HaKoidim LeBirusha. When later on comes a newborn inheritor that is before them in Yerusha, not specific share or totally before them, whatever the case is. Nifkos Chusam, the merit has been uprooted. Lemafreya retroactively. V'choizer lozeh, it comes back to this guy, Yakoidem Lohem, that is before them, Boiso Nachlo, on this inheritance. What is he saying? Let's go over what he says right in Bekhidish.
How could you take? What if the family spent everything and then the baby's born?
So they owe it to him.
Really?
Yes, why not?
How did they got?
Yes, sure. Now let's go back here.
I don't understand that at all.
What? Oh, that's exactly what I'm explaining. What does that mean? Inheritance, I don't get it because it belongs to me. I have rights to it. No, it's not the Pshat of inheritance. It's because I am a continuing of the family. I'm a Yoirish. It's not because of me. It's because I'm a continuing him. the father. So until now, the brothers continued it. Now they found out a newborn, there's another continuer. So then, they never merited because of themselves. They merited because they're the inheritors. Now you have another inheritor. So he's part of it. He's this part of it. So the retractor is part of it.
Before that.
And he's before them because let's say he's a boy and they're girls. Whatever the story is. So they said, I have to give it to him. Retracted it, even the work of the hands of the slave and not share. Whatever it is, he has to get it back. This is the history. This is the whole piece here. So he wants to say the same thing as Matnas Kuna. Ve'ine Matnas Kuna u'moman hashevet. Says, gifts of kahuna is the money of the tribe. Gam koidim the senior, even before the giving of the Matnas Kuna belongs to the tribe. Kedamrin bekama duchte mipnei gezel hashevet. The Gemara says a couple of places that if somebody steals Matnas Kuna, he steals from the tribe. Which means he cannot pay it back. In the chapter Zroya and Chulin, page 130, the Gemara says, if somebody damaged a gift of Kuna, Potu is exempt. Amrinan we say, why? Time, or what's the reason why if somebody damaged Matnas Kuna is exempt? It's money which has no claim to it. Why? If the coin says he damaged me, to the owners, he damaged my money, says, sorry, I want to give it to another coin. It's not your money, it's another coin. One second, I want to give it to another coin. Umashma, from the Gemara, Sheilu bo acher ba'arsho. I remember this we discussed with Rabbi Zimmerman. Let's say one Kohen finds all the Kohanim in the world, and he gets an arsho. He gets power of permission. Like power of attorney, permission. Mikol HaKohanim shebaolam, all the priests in the world. He can nicely demand the money of damage that the Jew damaged Matnas Kuna. Normally when a Jew damaged Matnas Kuna, nobody can demand it. It's a moment shalotoivi. Because any coin that demands the damage, he says, no, it doesn't belong to you, it's another coin. No, it comes. But if all the coin will come together, I get it out of show, so he cannot run away with such a claim, he has to pay. They make a collective claim. V'ayin toisashom, u'ba'aranzal. V'ayin k'safti be'ezer Hashem b'kilot Yaakov nedorim v'siman dala. U'lefize. Okay. So once we understand that Matnas Kuna means money of the tribe. That's what it means. If that's so. U'lefize according to that. Ilu oyo ba'olam ra koin echad. If there was only one coin in the world, all you ours then will be kol Matnas Kuna shaloi. All the Matnas Kuna will be his. Mimele. By itself, gam teren shaboli before comes his hands. Why? Derak only mishum shesh kohanim arbe. Only because there's many kohanim. Venom of who was not clear. Leize kohen, not clarify which coin it belongs to. Shaykh HaMatona is those gifts belong to. Therefore, Akat is still Eino Mamoino Gomosh because it's not a complete money of any coin. Right? Because which coin? You tell me, each one as I said to somebody else. If they all come together, they'll get our shore. So that's it, but it belongs to the tribe. So if let's say in the whole tribe there's only one coin left, it will be his. Let's say the whole world is dead, there's only one coin. But he has a brother that he's a baby in his stomach.
It belongs to the tribe, Bekinyan Gabor.
Yeah.
To the tribe.
They don't
need to do any Kinyan.
Yeah, because one who damaged Matnas Kuna, the reason why he's potu.
Can they be Kaddish and woman?
Yeah, if it will be one coin, yes. He wants to say yes. Not legamre. Yes, it is legamre.
What about the honor of the woman?
1 second, let's see. Umikol mokom, in any place, Ksheyulad achakach, when the baby is going to be born afterwards, Ot coin, another coin. There's only one coin in the world. Belongs to him. Then, a few months later, another coin pops. Because he was born another day later. Pshita, simple. The Rashoim HaBeolim, Litnen Lazeh, it's simple that the owners are permitted to give this guy. Why? They have the permission to give to who they want, just there was nobody else. But now, later on came another Yoirish of the Shevet. It's like Va'avodim. So then Choizer Abdinim Afriya, the law comes retroactively. The Gam LaKoin Hasheni, also the second coin. Yeschus, he has rights. Kevan Sha'arishon Lo Yizochor, but that's the point, this is the punchline. Since the first one was never Zoiche Mikoach Shema Proti, because his name is Cohen. Elo Mikoach Shema Shevet, only because he is part of the tribe. And nobody else is from the tribe, only him. So he didn't own it because his name is Cohen. He owned it because he is the tribe, and there's nobody else left in the tribe. And now that the second one is being born, the second one is Shevet Ukamois, he's also from the tribe like him. The slaves right now, before he was born, they eat for the sake of the other brothers. Mikomokim in any place. Afterwards, when there's being born a brother that is before them, the rights goes back retroactively to the being born. According to what comes to his share, that belongs to his share. Since they didn't inherit, the Avodim didn't inherit the Truma because their own the brothers did not inherit the slaves because their own private name. Only because they have a name of inheritor continuing the father. And behold, this guy that comes afterwards, Yoresh Kol of Yosef, his inheritor is much closer. Vochanami here also, Shazochabo he merited Mikoach Shem Shevet Shabo, from the name of being a tribe. Abdi Noisa, the law should be giving the Kshabah Hakach Oidechot, Shu B'Shem Hashem, when it comes later on, another coin that he has the name of this tribe. He also belongs in those gifts. Even though the first one was, at that moment, he was the only guy in the Shevet, he was the only owner. Later on comes another Kohen. Retroactively, he's also part of the Shevet, and it takes it away from the first guy. Because he never had it as private. He never had it because of his private reason name from the name of the tribe. Oh, 1 second. I want to wrap it and he can answer. He can't because you cannot grab his share.
What?
He cannot. But not from my share.
Wait a second. Even you grabbed it by sticking it because
he cannot take away from my share.
You see clearly, even Mamon Hashevet still can be his.
Yeah.
The Pshat and the sinners. After you grab it, it's very his mamash.
Venire.
You see a chiluk. If a coin grabs it, another coin cannot grab it.
Right.
So you see from there
Yes.
that before the coin grabbed it would belong to him, the other coin also. Now he grabbed it, it only belongs to him and no one else.
And the Sib is talking about a different
It
case.
also belongs to him.
Reb Shlomo. Sib is talking about Makiri Kuna. We now talked about not Makiri Kuna.
We're talking about Meir Kuna now.
Not yet. Until now, you're talking about Stam. There was only one coin in the tribe, and he owns it he's a son of the tribe. Then was being born later on another coin from the tribe. So retroactively, he gets his share back because the first one did not inherit from his own name. Not yet. Now he wants to jump. Venire, it looks to me, the kenu gamken, so it's the same thing. Inyan makire kuno. This is the same subject of makire kuno. Once the Torah was mezake, the Torah sanot to the owners, the owners promised to those that they know in the way that it's prohibited to retract. Mimele, by itself, Aveshara Kohanim Tchuim. All the rest of the Kohanim are being pushed away from taking those gifts. And now there's only one coin in the world. It belongs to him from the name of the tribe that is his. Since right now he's the only one. From the entire tribe that is being designated for him. In his reference to this matnas kuna, as if there's no other coin in the world which is proper to take this. Therefore, is considered his. He reference inheritance. He also can sell and take to exchange the money for himself. The owners who fulfill the mitzvah of Nesina. Since you already merit this, because only one coin around, Makirikuna makes, nobody else is out, and I'm the only coin. However, the Ba'olim not allowed to retract, so because of the Isra, I'm the only coin around. But in reality, when they do retract, legally it works. So now there's newborn Kohanim here. Chazor, it is Chazor. All that right now comes back. Avu kol HaKohanim down, all the priests in the world, Shayochim, they belong, boys are Trumos Matono, Trumos Umaises, Matnas Kuna. All of them now right away belong again in Matnas Kuna. Came and Shechosal Mareshus, since the permission came back, Lakachas Oisom to take them. Venifkale Mafreya, this is the punchline. So retroactively is being uprooted. Zechusa Meyuchot, that special merit he had. Shoyle coin that this coin had mitam Shem Hashem, the name of the tribe. Came under Odariko Oid Kohanim, since there's other Kohanim b'Shem Hashem, the name of the tribe. Since again, Makir Kuna makes is only one coin. The tribe only has one coin. Now that the tribe has one coin, Makir Kuna good. But when the Balabait retracts, and legally it works, so then there's a new Kohanim now involved. Retroactively, they're involved too. There's other Kohanim here. Since the first coin never inherited from his own reason, his own name, just because the name of the tribe, now there's new inheritance to the tribe after the Chazorah. So then everybody's equal. V'akolponim at least, kolecha de lechos rabalim, as long as the owners did not retract. Aveoiso makir shapir beolim. This coin, which is a friend, is definitely the owner. Boiso mandaskun and those gifts. Afilu kodesh abeliyoda, even before it reaches his hands. Why? Why it's his? Because it belongs to the tribe. And I'm the only coin around. Because makilu means everybody's out. Once he retracts, there's other coins to retract if they belong to them too. So then everything is good. Makire Kona means, is his or not his? It's his, but not from his own private name, from the name of the tribe. So therefore, since it's his, he can inherit it, and the coin and Bechol get double share. How can he retract? If it's his, he can't retract. The whole concept of shaloi means he cannot retract. There's was never shaloi from your own private name. Was shaloi means that the name of the tribe is a son of the tribe. Now, when the Balabait retracted, he's not allowed, but if he did, legally could retract. So now entered to the tribes, there's newborn babies of Kohanim being entered to the tribe. Now the Kohanim are allowed, involved now in the same Adnaskuna. So retroactively, it didn't belong only to him. There's many inheritors of the tribe. There's many children of the tribes. So now I can take it away. The old kasha was if it's his, shaloi, we had a kasha in the Nesivas. If it's shaloi, how can I retract? The answer is, wasn't shaloi mitzad his own private name? Was shaloi mitzad the name of Yoresh of the tribe? He's the only inheritor of the tribe. Like by slaves. The other brothers don't inherit the slave because private inherited. There's a connection to private, their own private name. From the name of inheritors, now there's a newborn inheritor. Retractly, he's a continuation. It goes back his share. See here, this is the punchline of the Yesod. Here it says the Kohen Makiri Kuna, when there's a prohibition to retract, he's the inheritor of the it belongs to him because he's part of the inheritors of the tribe. That means no private name, because the moment Hashem is money of the tribe, and he's the only one left in the tribe, because Makiri Kuna means everybody else is out of it because of the prohibition. But once the Baalim retract, that they did a prohibition, they retract, and legally it works. So now you have newborn babies of Kohanim, the whole Kohanim in the world pops in back. There's more people inheritors of the tribe. So Mimele, the law is once you retract, it's not this Kohen, although it was his until now. Retroactively, since it was never his from his own private name, it was only his because he's an inheritor of the tribe, Yoresh of the Shevet. Now there's new Yoshim after the retraction of the Balabai, so the retractive belongs to everybody else. So we found a trick how you can own something really right now totally yours, and when the Baalim retract, boom, it takes away from you because you never really owned it on your own private name because you mentioned Mishem Hashem. This is the whole piece of the Kila. This is the big Einfall of the Kila Senka. There's a lot of problems into it. I'm going to represent B'nai B'zat Hashem today in the Shiur clothing.
He can't grab it though.
What?
Not the case that he grabbed it. He couldn't
Yes.
have grabbed it.
Yes.
It must be that he was like he could have grabbed it, but he
Right,
didn't yet.
right. Okay, what I have a problem with this is,
There's a famous book.
few problems, yes. I have two kashas on this, on the Kilot Yaakov. One is the Gemara in Ksubas. The Gemara in Ksubas says, I mentioned it already before, that if the father of the firstborn son writes a document to give the 5 shkolim to the Kohen, so then the fact he wrote a shtar is Goma Umak, and Toys explained Dvoram Eliknoim Ba'amira. But Toys right away there says before that there's 2 ways how the Kohen can receive the 5 shkolim, or through a shtar, or Makiri Kuna. Lichoira, how can Makiri Kuna works? The whole Torah of the Kilot Yaakov doesn't fit here. Why? Because the whole point of the Kilot Yaakov is that really Manus Kuna belongs to the tribe, to the Kohen. And there's only, when Makiri means there's only one Kohen around in the tribe. Then when I retract, there's more Kohanim, okay? But by Pidyon Aben, it's not Maman HaShevet, just a debt to the Shevet. That's why I brought the Ibn Ezra, that's not true maybe. We're going to talk about it today. That's one kasha, also another isn't fit there.